Welcome back. In the previous video, we had seen what is partition semantic net and what are the components. So, in this particular video, I am going to take the same example that I took in the previous video. Every dog has bitten a male carrier. Okay. Let us first identify which are the terms which are quantified and which are not quantified. See, every dog. So this is universally quantified sentence for all dogs. Similarly, a male carrier. Now when I say a male carrier, is it written like this? Every dog has bitten every male carrier, all male carrier? No, a male carrier. So when I say a male carrier, it could be a set of male carriers out of all the male carriers to whom a dog has given a bite. So these are existentially quantified. Okay. So one thing is very clear. Dog is quantified, universally quantified. Now, every dog will give a different bite, right? So suppose there are 5 dogs. 5 dogs will give 5 different bites or more than that. So bite is also a quantified entity in this case. And what about male carrier? Male carrier is also quantified. But bite and male carrier may not be universally quantified. They may be existentially quantified. But one thing is very sure, as I have already spoken in the last video, all the quantified variables, all the quantified objects and classes, they should come in the innermost partition, that is S1. Okay. So in this example, since there is no quantifier, there is no object or there is no attribute that is not quantified, as a result you won't find anything outside this S1, right? So as I had discussed in the previous example, okay, you must have understood this, right? You must have understood this, okay? To represent the sentence, D is a dog, B is a bite, and M is a male carrier, and the relationships were established. But this particular example was the dog bit the male carrier. Particular dog, the dog, and a particular male carrier. It was 1-to-1, and that's why partitioning was not required. Now I have given this as every dog, and instead of the male carrier, a male carrier is written. So as a result, this entire term is going to come under S1 now, under the quantified partition, right? So you see, as I have told you, S is the outer space, G is a node, okay, and G is basically a GS. GS is a generalized statement, and G has 2 attributes. The first one is a form attribute. Form attribute is pointing to what? It is pointing to what? We have seen this in the previous video. Okay, see. Okay, see, GS has 2 attributes. Form states the relation that is being asserted, and the second is nothing but for all connection, that is one or more arrows will go for each universally quantified variable. So now in this example here, okay, one arrow will go to the assertion that is being made. So this is that assertion which is being made, that is every dog has bitten a male carrier. This is an assertion. So form connection will go to this box, and since there is only one universally quantified, see, only dog is universally quantified, others are existentially quantified. So for all connection will connect only D and nothing else. So this is a partition semantic net representation for the given sentence, every dog has bitten a male carrier. Let us see a slight variation. In this case, every dog in the town has bitten the constable. Now you see, every dog, right? This is universally quantified. So every dog, since there are many dogs, definitely there will be many bites. So this is also quantified. But when I say the constable, I am talking about one particular constable. Okay. So constable entity over here is not quantified. So as a result, you can see that M is a constable. So constable M, it is now coming in the outer space because it is not quantified. Whereas dog and bite, they are quantified, so they are coming in the S1 space. Okay, so D is a dog, B is a bite, M is a constable. And what's the relationship between D and B? See, I have purposely drawn a bidirectional arrow just to show you that in this case, when assailant is the relationship, this way or even this way or even bidirectional arrows are possible. Similarly, when I say victim, bites victim is a constable, or if the arrow is directed in the reverse direction, then constable is the victim of the bite. Both things can be true, right? So, and you see, since every dog in this sentence, only the dog is universally quantified, other bite is existentially quantified, and as a result form is connecting to this, whereas for all connection is only connecting to D and not to any other elements, any other objects. So this is how every dog in the town has bitten the constable. This statement can be represented. Now this is another example where I am trying to show you what happens when there are multiple universally quantified attributes. Okay, so consider this sentence: every dog in the town has bitten every constable. Now here every dog, that means this is universally quantified, and here every constable, it means this is also universally quantified. Both are universally quantified. So one thing is very clear: the structure that we saw earlier, the same structure will be there here also. D is a dog, B is a bite, then C is a constable. Okay, we had seen this earlier. Similarly, the relationship between B and D will be also same, B and C will be also same, nothing changes. But note that all three objects, they will come in S1 partition because all are quantified now. And one extra thing is, see, G is a GS, but G now will have one form arrow that will be connected to this assertion that is being made, and it will have two for all connections. One for all connection will be connected to this D because dog is universally quantified, and there will be another for all connection that will be connecting to C because C in this case is also universally quantified. So this is a generalized sentence representing every dog in the town has bitten every constable, where dog as well as constable both are universally quantified. So you will have two for all connections, and rest everything is same. Okay. So let's see some more examples of semantic net. Now this is a case wherein semantic net is not required. Mary gave the green flowered vase to her favorite cousin. Okay. So like I had told you in the previous videos, one or two previous videos, whenever you have three array predicates. Now in this case this is a three array predicate because give is the relation, and which are the objects involved. One is Mary, because it is Mary who gave. Second object is cousin, because Mary gave it to cousin, and what exactly object was given by Mary to the cousin? It is the green flowered vase. So if you see the predicate called as give, it will here in this case it will have three attributes. Okay, it will have three parameters. Predicate called as give will have three parameters. One will be Mary, second will be cousin, and third will be green flowered vase. Okay, so as we have seen in the previous case, remember the example that we took, cricket match Australia-India. Okay, the same procedure we are going to use here. So we are going to create a new object EV1 that represents the entire event. Let EV1, now what is this event about? This event is a giving event where Mary is giving something. So let EV1 be a new object such that EV1 is an instance of give. Okay. You may also consider this as is-a relation. Okay, EV1 may be an object, or EV1 can be also a subclass. You can either use here instance or is-a. Both are acceptable. Okay, so EV1 is a new object that we have created, and then we say EV1 is an instance of give. Okay, give event, and then we simply represent Mary, cousin, and vase and try to connect it to this new object. So Mary is an agent of EV1. Okay. Now the arrow goes this way, so it means EV1's agent is Mary. I could have also drawn the arrow in the other way around. Then that would mean Mary is the agent of EV1, and in this case, since both direction thing is true, you may also go with bidirectional arrows. Similarly, vase and EV1, the relationship is the vase is the object involved in the event. So when the arrow is this way, it is EV1's object is vase. You can also draw the arrow in the other direction. That would mean vase is the object of EV1. This means EV1's object is vase. And then cousin, event's beneficiary is cousin, and cousin is beneficiary of event. So bidirectional relation here also. And what's the relationship between Mary and cousin? Okay, Mary's favorite cousin, it is given. Mary gave the vase, a green colored vase, to her favorite cousin. So if you see the relationship between Mary and cousin, Mary's favorite cousin. Okay, and what is it is not a simple vase. Okay, if you see, it is not a simple vase, it is green flowered vase. So vase, it has color pattern, and what is that color pattern? Green flower. Okay, so this is basically there is no partition semantic net required over here because it is one-to-one relation. There are no quantities involved. Students, please note that after these videos on weak slot and filler structure, I will also give the PDFs for the same, the handwritten notes that I had. There are some PDF documents. Plus, I will also give some textbook things. So, when you are going through these examples, I would like you all to go through the PDF notes also and also read the textbook. Right? Similarly, there is another example. Now, this had come for the exam. Every batsman hits a ball. Okay, it's self-explanatory. You can just go through this. Every batsman hits a ball. In this case, every batsman, this is universally quantified, hits a ball. Now, in cricket match, there is only one ball. Okay, right? But it is also true that every batsman, say Sachin Tendulkar, till now, he must have faced n number of balls. Every match, one ball. Okay, and many times that ball, when it is not in good condition, they replace the ball. So you see, every batsman, this is universally quantified. But when I say a ball, this is not a single ball we are talking about. This is some set of balls that this batsman has already played. So everything is universally everything is quantified, but only batsman is universally quantified. Okay, please note the relations which I have written here. And you see, there is only one for all connection that only connects to B and nothing else. It's very simple. Okay. Also, in the notes you will see that I have some more examples that I have discussed. Please go through those examples. This is one example. Okay. And this is another example. For exam, sometimes they give this. They give a paragraph. Tom is a cat. Tom caught a bird. Tom is owned by John. Tom is ginger in color, and all this. So all this entire paragraph can be then represented with one semantic net, not partitioned one, a simple semantic net. I want you all to go through that example also through the notes. Okay, and that's it for this particular session. So we have finished with the semantic nets. In my next video, we will see the next kind of weak slot and filler structure, that is called as frames. Thank you.